welcome back to my channel. Look, Jimmy gave me his coffee cup. This means this coffee's gonna be really hot because this thing keeps the coffee hot. And it's been sitting here for about an hour. And a half. My first pumpkin spice of the year. Yay. Well, of the season. Because I'm sure I had some after January last year. My friend Poppy gave me that. She brought it over when she visited last week. And she came over yesterday. We had such a lovely visit. Yesterday was such a good day. I had such low pain and mobility. I do today too. Today I'm just like, I'm super tired. I slept really well last night, but I'm like super tired. So I don't really know if it's just like I did a lot yesterday. I did all my exercises and I tried to do some extra things, but they didn't really work out. Just sometimes I guess that happens. I think that the high humidity is definitely causing me to be like weighed down a little bit. Because it kind of has been most of the year, most of the summer. I will tell you the truth though. And I ever tell you guys that I never thought that it would be this humid in the middle of the country in the like foothills of the Ozark Mountains. Like when you live on the shore, okay, yeah, humidity, there's all this water around you. There's like the ocean. But like, where is the humidity coming from in the mountains? I thought it was supposed to be cool, crisp mountain air. Now, granted, we're not actually like in the mountainous parts of the Ozarks, but you know, it's the foothills. It's kind of like it's mountain-esque. I know that there's lots of streams and rivers around us, but I just never expected them to be this humid. This humid. It's 94% humidity, she said. That's crazy. That's Florida humidity. What the heck, man? But you know, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change. But that's what they said. But all summer, it's been the same weather. So it's been hot and humid. And, you know, it's kind of like if you're going to be off your feet and go through all this, I guess in the middle of the summer, for me, it's probably the best anyway. Like I do enjoy the sunshine, but it's so hot that I can only enjoy the sunshine a few hours in the morning. And then like right before the sun sets, because otherwise I have to keep the curtains closed because it's so hot. You know, it'll just bake the house. So I love the autumn. I love the spring. I mean, I love the summer. But like, I guess I don't know. If there's a pool, I'll love the summer. This makes sense. That didn't make any sense. But I don't know. Hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. But when I planned on moving here, like we planned on moving here, we were like, okay, the climate is, but I guess everybody in the world is having like this global crisis warming situation happening. And I don't mean global warming, but I think like every place across the United States is hotter. And I'm sure it has something to do with the global warming situation, but I know that everybody's going through this right now. But I just never expected it to be like Texas hot. You know, like why wouldn't I move to Texas if it's going to be this hot in Missouri? Minnesota, here I come. I'm not just saying that. My sister Alicia always said, you want to move to Colorado? And I was like, Colorado, yeah. But I heard that they had record highs this year too. So Alaska, here we go. It'd be like, we'd be snowbirds, but we'd be like opposite snowbirds. We'd be like, we want to go. Actually, I guess that wouldn't be opposite. That would just be like, so when we grew up in New York, all the snowbirds went to Florida. That's how it was. Or like South Carolina. They would go there for the winter time. If you don't know what a snowbird is, sorry. That's when seniors live in moderate climates all year. So what they do is they spend their winters in Florida or South Carolina where it's more moderate climate. And they come up to New York where not only their families usually are, a lot of times they live there, but where it's not as hot as it is in Florida in the summertime. So, but I was like, we just be snowbirds, but like, you know, Canada in the summertime. Canada in the summertime, Minnesota in the winter. But, sorry, I have an itch. Oh, I'm sorry if that triggered a yawn for everybody. Told you I was tired. You didn't believe me? I will tell you that if you use your Alexa digital assistant to set your reminders for your medical stuff, I use my app. I have an app on my phone which you can download for free. It comes in all like the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store, the Apple App Store or whatever. Um, mm, mm-hmm. That's good stuff. Um, that you can, what was I going to say? Oh, what you can do is you can set up the reminders there. Instead of just telling her what to do, what I do, like if I want to adjust the times, I actually go into the app. It's so much easier to just click on the time and scroll to what time you want to change it to so that there's no misunderstanding or miscommunication. It's just so much easier. But also on the app, because they're reminders, you can actually check them off if you remember them. So I told you guys before that working at the group home, the doctor always like you could take your medicine half an hour before, half an hour after. So it was like 6:45. I just took my morning meds and I wanted to start vlogging. So I went ahead and I told the digital assistant that I'm completed that task. So it won't come up as a reminder today. Last couple of times I vlogged, I forgot to do that and it would come up and be like, reminder, take your meds. So I actually ended up stopping that. If anybody's interested in my opinions about the digital assistant, I freaking love it. Now, I will tell you, we're Gen Xers. I'm 51. Jim's going to be 50 this year. We are the kind of Gen Xers who have embraced technology really since the go. Like, we both had, well, I didn't have my own personal computer. Excuse me, I didn't have my own personal computer before I met Jim. But Jim had a personal computer before I met him. And then together when he moved in, we got a computer for our house. And we, what was I going to say? What did we do? What did we do? We always, okay, so we're the kind of people who are like, we spend money on technology, but we're not the people who spend all the money on technology. And what I mean by that is like, we don't get technology when it comes out brand new. First of all, we've learned over the years that betas aren't always the best. Like beta is what they call like when the test comes out, you know, like when a program comes out, that usually means it's beta tested, which means there could still be bugs in it type of thing. So Jim and I are always like, we wait to see 6 months. It's not brand new technology, but it's still new enough technology, and it's not the most expensive it'll be. It's usually a little cheaper at that point. And we don't always get like the newest. Like we got when we first got our iPhones, we got the iPhones we could afford, which was like the second model. You know, like the new one came out, so the second one's cheaper. And then we had them until they were like not obsolete, isn't the right word, but like I had my iPhone 5 until the iPhone 5 I got in 2013, right after the flood. And I had that until I started YouTube. And then I got an iPhone 7 because I needed more memory space and a better camera. And I don't know if you guys know this, but like there is, when you're a freelancer or independent contractors, which the categories that I fall under, they ask you like, do you have any equipment that you use? And I was like, yeah, I got an iPhone 7. You know, what percentage of time do you use your phone for work? And then you have to be realistic and honest. You know, it's like I do everything on the phone. I film, I edit, I upload, I do my comments. I do all of the like little technical stuff behind it. I do the planning. Like I either troll Pinterest for video ideas or I troll not troll. It's not the right word. Well, it is actually. It's not the troll like the beast under the thing, but it's like the troll. Yeah, never mind. Like you're doing fishing, you know. Or I go to like the different decorating websites to see what like the, you know, Kirkland's and Pier 1 and see what kind of different things that we could copy and like ideas just for videos. So all of that is for work. Like I do also do personal things on there. I make phone calls that aren't work related. So they ask you what percentage of the day do you use your equipment and that kind of thing. So, just be honest. You say, maybe I'm asleep for 8 hours. So there's only 16 hours in the day. And I figure at least 8 hours is doing work. So you're like, okay, 8 hours. So 50% of the day or 50% of the time I use my phone. It's not 50% of the day. It's 50% of the time I use my phone is work related. So then you put that and then they give you a percentage. They also do like a depreciation on it every year. So they say, do you still have the iPhone 7? Yes. Do you still use it for 50% of the day? Or 50% of the use for work? And you're like, yes, no, or change, if it changes. We were getting, when I started the vlog channel and I was still actively doing DIYs and decorating and cooking, I was using my phone for 2 channels, and there were many days where I used it more than 50% of the time. So it's just like a lot of different, like it could change, and just things to consider. So we don't get like the newest, latest technology. Like we got the iPhone 7 when the iPhone 8s came out. The only thing that I ever got new and brand new was when the iPhone 11 came out. We had just gotten a little money. We were working. We both were. The channel was doing really well. Jimmy was doing really well at his job. So when the iPhone 11 came out and it had the 3 camera lenses, it's like a professional camera. It does zoom in, zoom out, and it's just a really, really clear picture. And it has a ton of memory space. I have a half a terabyte of memory space on this phone. I asked him, I was like, since we can afford it right now, can I please? And he said yes. And then he ended up getting one about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 months later. I don't even think it was that long, maybe 3 or 4 months later. We ended up getting him one too. And we were able to like buy them outright, not pay them off over time. So that was kind of really good. So that was like the first time we ever got like new technology. But honestly, all the other times, like we got the computer. I did buy the computer for work, and that I'm paying off. It is an iMac, but it's when you buy an iMac, you can't really buy an old one. Like you probably could buy a used one or one that's already configured, but we custom configured it to my needs. That was one of the few conversations over text message that I had with my brother. My sister actually told him to message me back and help me. He helped me configure what I would need for the computer. So he helped me with that. And then, so that was new, but that was also for work. That's where I do a lot of my video storing. Now that I'm losing my eyesight a little bit, when I do comments, it's usually on there because the font is bigger. I can zoom in on the page and stuff. So that's when we do live streams. We use the computer to read the comments while I videotape on my phone. So it's just like, it's that. It's just like, Jimmy plays on it, but then they'll ask me again, how much do you use it for work and how much do you use it for private, personal use or whatever. So, all of that stuff is like we're savvy about it, and not 100%. So like I have always had IBM compatible computers, but then when I switched to iPhones in 2013, and then I ended up getting an iPad a couple of years later, Mom got it for me for Christmas, I felt like I was becoming more of an Apple product user. So when I wanted the new computer, I actually wanted a MacBook, like I wanted a laptop. But my brother said, you won't get the memory capacity that you need on a laptop. And I was like, okay, so there you go. I wanted the portability of the laptop though. So he ended up talking me into this giant monitor, 23-inch monitor. No, 30, what is it? 28-inch monitor. It's huge. It's like the size of the desk. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's all like part of it. So the monitor is the computer. The computer is part of the monitor, if that makes any sense. There's no like CPU tower or anything. So we're pretty savvy about electronics and digital stuff, and we like it. And it has definitely made our lives easier. I know it's very difficult for a lot of people to comprehend, but for us, it's really become like second nature. I am learning the iMac more and more. The more I use it, the better I become at it. Obviously, it's like 20 years of training, like to retrain my brain, because it does work so different. Not so different. A lot of things are the same, but there are a few things that are really different. Things that I thought like, oh, these are shortcuts. And you're like, nope, you just forget those shortcuts on here. Just use those shortcuts on the laptop or whatever. But that being said, when I was following a couponing girl, and she said you could get a digital assistant. It's basically an Echo Dot for 99 cents. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, if you sign up for if you sign up for Amazon Unlimited Music for the minimum of 1 month, which is $8.99, you get that for 99 cents. And I was like, heck yeah, that's a bargain. And I was like, and unlimited music for a month. So even if I just paid $10 for that and got like unlimited music for a month, however you want to look at it, that was totally worth it. The thing's 40 or 50 bucks, depending on when you bought it and which generation stuff. Excuse me. So I got that, and then I got like, it was not prime time. It wasn't time for prime. Then I started looking up, like, I found smart plugs at Target that were on sale. Target was having an electronic sale, 20% off, stuff already on sale with the red circle. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can get I can get smart plugs, excuse me. I don't know where digital plugs came from. I can get 2 smart plugs for $7.99 each with the 20% off. And I was like, let's do that. Jimmy was like, yeah, get them. We'll see how they work. And they're compatible with the Amazon digital assistant. So we did, and we just were hooked. We were hooked. In the living room, the old table, I used to have the small round table there. It was a lot. It was like reaching back and behind me. And this shoulder a lot of times goes bad. This is my left shoulder. It's the one that sits up on the arm of the couch. So it sometimes just doesn't really work right. Like today it's sore. So it was really hard sometimes to do my light switch. And, we were like, Jim's was way behind him where he sat. So he had to like stand up and do it. So we started like that. We just started plugging our lamps into these smart switches and would say, turn off, turn on. And then we just became hooked. We started to realize how, this is going to sound crazy and I'm going to sound lazy, but some of our lighting situations were very, what do I want to say? We're very, like say difficult setups, or like, okay, I think I've mentioned this before. The person who redid this house, the light switches are like really weird. Like you have to walk 3 steps into my bathroom to turn the light on. It's not like right there by the door like everybody else's would be. It's like on the other side of the closet, which isn't a closet, it's the heater, but you know what I mean. So it's like things like that are just like kind of weird. And it's like that all over the house, like plugs being upside down. It's just like, I don't know, it's different. Let's put it that way. So we had certain things where we're like, oh, when we're in bed at night, you're about to fall asleep and you want to turn your light off. These lights have chains with toggle switches, so you have to like dig up the chain, find the toggle switch. It just, it's extra. So we just started to get really into like, oh, this would be so great. This would be so great. We get this one, we'll get that one. And I was continuously on the couponing ladies website plus the Amazon page, the Amazon app, to look for when these came on sale again, and they were like super cheap and they were giving them away and that kind of thing. I know if you sign up for SiriusXM, they were giving one away, but we had already had it. So it was like for new customers. So it was stuff like that. So we ended up buying the second one for, I think the second one was $9.99. Just like flat out on sale. I think it was like a prime event. So we got the second one. We have one in here and one in the living room. Then we found these ones called Flex, and they were super cheap. They were $7.99. And what they are is they don't have a good speaker to play music through, but they plug right into the wall and they do everything else. They control the, you could talk to them to plan schedules, to look at the calendar, to turn switches on and off, to use smart devices to send reminders to people in other rooms. It just doesn't have a great speaker for playing sound. These Echo Dots do. The Echo Flex is just like this little tiny box with a little tiny speaker in it. So we ended up getting 3 of those because we thought Mom would want one. We got Mom a smart bulb and got her that, and then she hated it in like 2 minutes. And she didn't really have patience for it. I'm not blaming her. It's just that so we would get notifications when our package would be delivered, or whenever there was a notification, it'd be like doo doo, you know. One notification from Amazon shopping, such and such and such. Well, one day she was going to take a nap, and this was like, she had only had it for like a week, and she was going to take a nap, and the notification came in the middle of the day. And I was gonna say, you can't control when they come, but you can control whether or not they actually give you the notification over that. You can turn the notifications off, like so she just came out of the bedroom and she picked it and she threw it at me. Not at me, but she threw it on the couch next to me. And she's like, I was just about to fall asleep. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, okay. Like one and done with the patients. So she ended up not using yours anymore. So we have one in the guest room. We were trying to get one put in Jimmy's room, but we need to get a Wi-Fi extender for our system. Sorry, I hope I didn't just trigger your yawn again. I need more coffee. More caffeine. Bring down the caffeine. So, we have them, and now we have like 2 extras because not really 2 extras. When we get the stuff done in the den, Jim's den, we'll have one there. And then I said I might as well just have one in my office. If I get a smart plug or the glue gun and I keep it plugged in all the time, I could say, because I'll turn on the glue gun. That would be amazing. I won't ever have to like take it out and plug it in, and wouldn't that be great? I actually watched a video. There's a guy who does wreaths mostly, and he has a glue pot. Oh gosh, I always wanted, you don't understand, since like 1989. Don't buy me one. I'm just talking. Since like 1989, 7, when I first got my first glue gun. 86? Kelly have kids yet? I can't remember if it was 86 or 87. I can't remember, but I first got my first glue gun, and they had glue pots at the time, and I was like, oh, I want a glue pot. Oh my God, I want a glue pot so bad. I just feel like they'll take forever to heat up, but I don't even know that that's true. And then when I'd go to places that do like silk floral arrangements and they always have a glue pot, I'm like, oh, I want one. So it's just on my major wish list. So be like, oh, a glue pot hooked up to your digital assistant would be great, because then they could start heating up before you even get in the craft room, and you'd be all ready to go, just sitting there waiting for you. I do like the fact that it's got a lot less waste. You know, you can put your crummies in there, like, you know, your stringy crummies or drippy crummies from your glue gun. They can all go into the glue pot, you know. But anyway, I digress. I digreg. I love it as I'm getting older. And I know that sounds silly. I've only had it for a couple of years. But I love it as I'm getting older because of things like this. This thing that I'm going through, where it's remembering every 2 hours. Now they change, the times change because we're changing schedules. And sometimes time goes by so fast, and sometimes time goes by so slow. And you're like, what is it? What? How did it get to be 7 o'clock already? And you could miss a dose of medication. If, you know, your body is feeling good, but you want to keep that level at a steady, you know, you want to keep the level at a steady range. No, therapeutic dose, like a therapeutic range. You want to keep your levels at a steady therapeutic range. You don't want to have to go into pain to relieve the pain, when it's something going through now, like what I'm going through now. So it's better to take it on a regular basis. Some of the medication is as needed, like the Voltaren cream is as needed, and I have the Tylenol codeine is as needed, which I didn't use it last night, and I slept really well, which I was very happy about. I kind of just feel like I'll need it on days where I can feel totally restless. So I said to Jim last night when I was going to bed, I said, I don't feel like I need it tonight, but if I like toss and turn for the next 2 hours, I'll probably take one, because that just means I'm starting to become uncomfortable. But I didn't need it. I fell asleep. No problem. Like I said, it was a busy day yesterday, so it explains why I'd fall right to sleep. Well, I say right to sleep, but I think it was before 10. You know, he's asleep by 8 o'clock as soon as his head hits that pillow these days. But I fell asleep like before 10. That's probably why I could still sleep. I might have actually been able to get 8 hours if I would have allowed myself. Oh, Lordy. That's a lot of yawning, Jerry. Cheese and rice. Okay. So one of the things I was saying that I really liked about it is that kind of reminder. The other kind of reminder, and I guess if you have, I have a perpetual calendar, like out in the kitchen, we have a Thomas Kincaid perpetual calendar, which is the one where you put the like numbers in yourself. So I can't jump ahead to mark October 23rd as the day I need to change my water filter on my refrigerator. But I love that for her. She can tell me, she can remind me. And then you can set how far in advance you want to be reminded. So, you know, you could set a reminder for the 22nd to remind you to do it on the 23rd, like kind of thing. So I do really, really enjoy that as well. I think that that's very helpful as you get to be of a certain age and you start to forget things. Shopping lists, she can create shopping lists. She can look up recipes. She can give you all the answers. That's another thing. So I know I'm self-diagnosed as ADD. I've self-diagnosed my ADD. I don't want to hear it. But as I start to hear more and more about the symptoms, I realize that they are ADD-related type symptoms. So if you have ADD, then you might relate to this. When you're watching a movie and you see somebody's face, you automatically grab your phone and you look up where you know them from. Well, I have often told people in the comments, I grew up without a smartphone of internet movie database. And I would lose half a movie because my brain would be focused on where do I know that person from. And the details of the movie would get lost. You know, like I would sort of be like watching it. I've told you guys about my 3 reels in my brain. I sort of would be watching it with the one reel, but like the other one was just totally focused on where do I know that person's face from. Especially every time they came on screen. It would be consuming. So getting the answers now, it was the same. Like we had an Encyclopedia Britannica set that was from like, I feel like it was 1964 or 3. It was published like in the 60s, but obviously I grew up in the 70s, so it wasn't that long ago. Like if I had them today, they'd be 50 years old. That's a different story, but you have them in the 70s. They were only like 10 or 15 years old. So I was in that thing for everything. You know, like you would hear something and you'd be like, what's that? And you'd go look it up, you know. Between that and the dictionary, you'd be like, what is that? Oh, wow. And then you would like just, you know, be fascinated and, you know, skim through. I would never read like a whole, well, not never. Sometimes things were fascinating enough and short enough, like articles. I don't know if articles is what you would call them in the encyclopedia, but. And those of you who are too young to know what an encyclopedia is. But, so that's how I grew up. And now that I have technology, it's so much probably better and worse because the answers come immediately. So then the next query might come closer together, like, also, but I don't know. I find it to be extremely helpful to just ask questions. It doesn't stop me from thinking. It actually reminds me to think more. So like a perfect example is, I think I was trying to figure out how many doses of Voltaren I would get in a 5.8 ounce bottle. And each dose is 4 grams. So you take 4 grams 4 times a day, so that's 16 grams. How many times does 16 grams go into 5.8 ounces like that? That would be like a question that I would ask. Because normally I would have to like calculate gram per ounce and have to do like math. And that's okay. And I know I can do it long ways, but the fact that I don't have to do it long ways is the best. It is the best. Conversions. What's half of a third? Does anybody know the half of a third? Alexa, what's 1/2 of a third cup?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, 1/2 of 1/3 of a cup is equal to 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons.
Now, I knew that because of asking her so many times. A lot of times when you have a recipe and it's 1/3 of a cup, you're like, so it's 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons. That's what it is. It's kind of crazy that, I don't know, that I think about a time when we got along without it, you know? We had so much more, I don't want to say clutter, but like, you know, what is she like relieve from my stuff? My guide that tells you what's 1/2 of a third of a cup. I don't need that anymore. The thousands of recipe books that you just keep those recipes for. You can store them digitally. You can ask her digitally. You can look it up digitally. And you don't have to keep those thousands of pieces of paper anymore. So it's just amazing to me, like, the things that we can do. So right now we have smart bulbs. Alexa, turn on bedroom lights. Did you see that? You didn't, huh? Let's try that again. Let me turn you around. Alexa, turn off bedroom lights. Let me show you another trick. Alexa, turn on Jerry's bed light at 50%. Alexa, make Jerry's bed light 100%. Alexa, make Jerry's bed light 10%. And that's what we use for a night light. Like when we first wake up in the morning. Alexa, turn off bedroom lights, please. So we keep one bed light on at 10%. So when we turn it on, it just eases up. There is actually routines you can create where you can take the smart bulb and you can have it go up 1% brightness every 10 minutes or so. So there's so much you can do. Plus music, obviously you play any song that you feel like. Well, if you have unlimited music, you can play any song that you feel like. But she can definitely tell you if she can play that song, if it's available. If you have Sirius XM, you can sign up through here. You can play your Pandora, Spotify, all that stuff through there. You just have to link it once and that's it. She controls the TV. Now this TV comes on when I turn on the Fire Stick. It has like an automatic switch over. The living room TV does not. This TV she can turn on by selecting something. So if I'd said for her to launch YouTube on Fire TV, then she would. And would turn the TV on as well. And then start the YouTube on there. So it's just so much stuff that's so convenient. And what I really like about that is if you've ever lost your remote control, Lord knows I have. And when it's really convenient is not just like, oh, I lost my remote control, I'm trying to be lazy and I won't find it. It's like you don't know where the remote control is and the doctor's office calls. You can tell her to stop playing, shut off the TV or whatever, so that you can talk to the doctor if you can't find the remote control. Like stuff like that. It's not just like, oh, it makes my life more convenient. It's literally like everybody's time seems so valuable these days. And the more time that we save to enjoy the moments that are like home and stuff, we try to make our business time more efficient. So whatever we can do to make that more efficient. You know, if we don't spend 2 hours looking through a cookbook for a recipe, it's 2 hours more we have to spend with our family. I know it's 2 hours was an exaggeration, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Now, there's way more she can do that I am capable of, or not capable of, that I'm aware of yet. I'm still learning, even though I've had it for 2 years. There's just skills that I haven't needed yet. So I know that there's tons of stuff. She can call people on my phone list, as long as I've given her permission for my contacts. I can talk to them through that too. Like, I just do that. And she can send messages from other devices in the house. I can tell everybody when it's dinner time. And when I tell everybody it's dinner time, it goes not only to each machine, but it goes on to the TVs too. It goes on to all the Amazon devices and lets everybody know that it's dinner time. So it's just a lot of stuff like that. That's tons of fun to play with and convenient. I think one of my favorite things that I've ever done on here is this. You guys know I'm a big Star Trek fan. Alexa, beam me up.
Okay, transporting in 3, 2, 1.
So I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was basically the transporter noise after she beamed me up. She does other stuff for other, genres of or fandoms. I guess is what you would call them. But Alexa, do you digitally contact the TARDIS?
I don't know that.
Alexa, can you speak to the TARDIS?
I couldn't find that name in your contacts.
She doesn't know Doctor
Do
Who.
you have their phone number?
No, thank you.
Okay, you can always add it later under contacts in your Alexa app.
You can also program her to say stuff like, instead of the keyword, the wake word is what she calls it. Her wake word is Alexa, but you can change that. So I knew a guy who was such a big Star Trek fan who changed it to computer. And every time he would say computer, just like on the TV show, be like computer, and she would talk. Well, then he started watching his TV show, and every time they would say computer, she would go off. So he's like, I had to switch it back. Oh, goodness. But I guess this is like an Amazon Echo Dot review. I know that there's other digital assistants out there, Google, and there is one more. Apple has one. I don't think the Apple one really went very far though. Microsoft might have one. They have Cortana on their phone, but I don't know if they have a digital assistant machine. But I just find this one very convenient. Occasionally she'll come up with a notification that something on my wish list or my save later shopping list is on sale. Do I want to add it to my cart? Do I want to purchase it now? I can tell her to purchase stuff now. I can say, hey, I need more protein chips or whatever. And she'll be like, adding protein chips to your shopping cart. Would you like to purchase that now? Would you like to check out now? Like that. So that's convenient too. Like if you're a person who shops on Amazon a lot, makes that worth it. Or gets a lot of your groceries from Amazon, that makes it worth it too. So, but that is my review. I also have Fire TV. I got those super cheap too. That was a purposeful purchase. I got them on Black Friday 2018. I got those on Black Friday. Is 2018 right? We had the Dish Network. It has to be 2018. Maybe 2007. It doesn't make a difference. We had the Dish Network for a while because out here it's like slim pickings. And it had its issues, but everything does, but this was a much less expensive way. It was 2018, I just remembered. This was a much less expensive way to get television service. Now, what mom was paying for the internet before, because she wanted to have a landline and it was the same company, and she basically carried it over from like her old house. So she had paid for the internet, and we paid for the television service and the utilities and all that stuff. So we paid a bunch of bills. She paid a bunch of bills. Okay. Well, actually, she paid that and then the mortgage. So when we were talking about like making a family account and merging the things, and the more I started to do YouTube, I really felt like we needed faster internet. So what I ended up paying for Dish, just for Dish, I ended up getting Hulu plus live TV, with DVR service, which I paid for the internet. One other thing. Oh, CBS All Access, because Hulu didn't have recording of CBS. So I got all of those for the same amount that I'm paying, less than I'm paying per month on the Dish Network. So we got faster internet. We got the same television service is plus, because Hulu isn't just broadcast television. Hulu is, they have their own programs and stuff too. They stream movies and those kind of things. So the streaming services now, it's frustrating. It was frustrating in the beginning to Mom, because when the Wi-Fi would go out, she would get very upset. But she got to a point where she was like, I'm just going to switch back for myself. And she contacted the company that actually provides the cable here. And they were like, well, we are on digital service too. We're on streaming as well. So I kind of like tried to tell her that that was the way that everybody was going. Unless you have fiber optics in your area, everybody's just doing like streaming. Even those who have fiber optics might be streaming via fiber optics as opposed to like just Wi-Fi. So she realized that it was going to be the same. So she just was like, forget it, I'll just keep this. And then one of the things that, I don't know if you guys know this, but I had to teach her or show her, is that her environment, where she keeps her room, she keeps it very, very warm, and she keeps it very, very smoke-filled. And electronics don't like that. They need to breathe. They need to be not running hot. They need to have air circulation. So whenever we would keep the electronics, even when we had the dish, we used to keep the big machine in her room, and all the little machines were spread out throughout the house. But the big machine was the hopper, and the hopper was always in her room, and the hopper would like break down a lot, just like seize up, and we'd have to unplug it and reset it. And I would just say, like, it's not a good environment for electronics. And now she's finally gotten to that, because she's on her third Fire Stick. We've had to like replace hers. We have replaced her. We just switched it out with the ones in the house because they need a break, basically. So she's on like her third Fire Stick, and we finally got her to understand that this is why this keeps happening. It's not happening anywhere else in the house, and we bought them all on the same day. And we use them all just as much. Like, I run mine in the living room just as much as she runs hers in her bedroom. Actually more, to be honest with you, because, well, maybe the same. She plays hers all night and has it off all day. I play mine all day. So I was like, the only difference is the environment. And she finally understood. She finally got like a little fan to blow on it to keep it cool and to keep it air circulating around it, which is good. So if you are a smoker, or you like your house really, really hot, take that in consideration when you have your electronic devices, because they don't really care for it very much. So, well, that's it for now. I wanted to just share that with you, and to say that it's really a convenience for me. This will be my little like electronics smart house review. I don't know if I missed anything. I know there are smart doorbells. We don't have any of those yet. There's smart cameras. There's all kinds of digital devices that you can add throughout your house that will help. I know people have smart washers and smart refrigerators and all that stuff. But again, being Gen Xer and being like the middle ground between like super techie savvy and super like not, we're kind of in that middle there. We are enjoying what we have right now. So that's good. And we're going to keep, as new technology comes out, we'll try to embrace it the best we can, because that's what we do. Okay? As always, you guys, take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.